Now, how are they related? And I want to look at it from 2 points of view. First of all, road construction when it is in progress, and then the construction of the road when the construction is, well, completed or the road is in use. To help me better understand what's involved in this and what the thinking is and, what we can do to improve the situation, which I'll be telling you about in a minute, is Jay Ebo-Houghton from the Association of Road Contractors, from the National Secretariat, no less. And this man is at the top of the group that represents all road contractors in Ghana. I'm also expecting ASP or Bing to join in to our discussion, and I'm expecting you to post your thoughts, feelings, ideas, suggestions on the topic. And one that I've read this morning already is really good. Daniel of Safety-18, you write that Ghana roads, ongoing and completed, is a whole story to write. And here's one story. It says that the Bush Highway is incomplete. We're talking about the N1, and everybody loves that road. It's one of the most modern roads we have. It's also one of the roads that seems to have claimed a lot of lives. Now, between February the 15th, 2012, and by the way, this is February the 15th edition of the graphic. This was just last week, the day after Valentine's Day. Now, between February the 5th in the year before then and December the 31st, 52 people died and 284 others got injured in accidents on the NY Highway or the Bush Motorway. This is information coming to us from the MTTU, and that's why I'm hoping that ASP Obeng is on his way to the studio. Now, majority of the casualties, reports Kofi Eboa in this edition of the Daily Graphic, were pedestrians, after 112 of them had been knocked down within the period. Now, what this means is that 2 pedestrians get knocked down every week on this highway. It's really it's really interesting, and it's also very, very, very sad. Good morning and welcome to Sunrise, sir.
Thank you very much, and good morning to your viewers too.
Now, this question of road construction and safety, I see it in 2 parts. First of all, the design of the road itself and how well the design is implemented, and secondly, the period during which the construction is ongoing, especially when the road is still open or partially open to both motorists and pedestrians. So let's look at it in this way. The first question is, what is the link between road construction and road safety in those 2 regards?
I think you hit on the right note, because point is that safety starts from the design stage.
The design stage?
Yes. Whoever is designing the road would anticipate some safety measures that have to be put in place while designing the road. And then in the course of construction also, it could become clear that maybe certain safety measures have not been considered, and so they would have to be put in at the time of the construction. And so that is also done. And then the post-completion stage, after the project has been completed and then the drivers start using it, certain things could also become clear, and then these interventions also have to be put in place.
Okay, talking about the design and coming back to the George Bush Motorway, the N1, the managing director of ICT Bands, Mr. Isaac Adai, said that the original design included 7 interchanges, advantage locations, and people think that would take and make the highway very safe for motorists and pedestrians. Can you explain to me how an interchange makes a motorway safe for pedestrians? Because I would think that if there is an interchange rather than a traffic light, then cars would drive past even faster, and if people still want to cross, that will put pedestrians at even more danger or more risk, or not?
Well, you realize that even at times at traffic lights, when the light is on, the red light is on, and drivers are supposed to stop, you see cars just driving past, which is also dangerous. That aside, pedestrians themselves, the red light will be on for them to wait. You see them also crossing. So for me, it's always better if you can create a situation where, as much as possible, pedestrians are completely separate from the flowing traffic. And once the interchange is there and we use it as expected, then we are free from that.
Do we design our roads to separate pedestrians from the motor traffic? I mean, do we actually design roads with sufficient underground or overhead crossing for pedestrians where they would not have to face oncoming traffic?
Well, I think for now, it's becoming a reality. I mean, we in the past, you see, sometimes costs and all others also coming, and then maybe government or the agency in charge of the project would decide that, okay, instead of maybe constructing an overpass or constructing an underground for pedestrians to use and all of this, it's going to be too expensive. So maybe we could install a traffic light there, or we could bring in these speed ramps and all of this to slow down the traffic. But fact is that you go into certain areas, I mean, advanced countries, I mean, highways are usually not even supposed to be in towns. They're supposed to be in the outskirts, so that they don't even come into contact at all with pedestrians. I mean, in town, fine, the traffic is very slow and other, so you wouldn't find this problem. But this N1, for instance, is a typical urban highway, and so you don't expect these speed ramps and all others to come in, because it's a highway. It says that it's in an urban area, and so when you are doing these things, you have to make sure that the interventions like these interchanges, the pedestrian footbridges and all others are constructed. Unfortunately, I mean, they should be part of the construction, actually. But, you know, with the N1, what we know or what we've been told is that there's supposed to be a second phase. And that second phase is to construct the remaining 5 or so pedestrian footbridges that are supposed to be on the road. And it's unfortunate that these things are happening, but I think that we ourselves also must also realize that we have to be careful. Drivers have to be careful. Pedestrians have to be careful, but we take too many things for granted, and that's what is creating all these problems for us.
But the Daily Graphic reports that the construction of just one interchange costs between $10 and $15 million. So making that, you know, math arithmetic very quickly, the 5 extra ones require $50 million, and as you said, that's phase 2 of the project, and it will only commence when government is ready to finance it. So going by this, an incomplete road is open to both motorists and pedestrians. Now, what would you say determines the safety characteristics of a well-designed but yet in progress in terms of construction road?
Well, what I can say is that, look, if these things, like you said, the cost involved, and government is actually going to, it's not going to be easy raising all this money at once. What I've heard is that some steel bridges probably might be put in as temporary measures very soon. I don't know when it's going to start, but that is what I have heard. But whilst you're constructing, the most important thing is, one, to take into consideration traffic management, make sure that at least you manage traffic in such a way to reduce or to improve safety as much as possible. But you see, sometimes the work is done in the morning, so in the daytime. After close of work, there's probably nobody there to direct these things and make sure that people are protected. And so it's at the end of the day, it's free for all.
Who's responsible for the protection and safety of pedestrians and motorists in a period during which a road is being constructed? Is it not the contractor or the constructor, the builder of the road?
Yeah, I think that when you are going for such projects, you should also take into consideration the fact that you'd have to put in safety measures during the construction stage. And so for me, I think it's the responsibility of the contractor to make sure that as much as possible there is good and effective traffic management during the period of construction. And he should take it into account when he's preparing his claims and all of this, his bill for the project, so that it wouldn't be extra burden on him.
Now, I'm reading from this article by Kofi Ebo in the Daily Graphic that the liability of contractors on the road is for a period of 1 year, right? So the contractors on the road have a 1-year liability which expires this month, during which they take responsibility to remedy all constructional defects. Is this something that's peculiar to this project, or is it something that is part and parcel of every road building contract in Ghana? I'm asking this because very often it would appear that roads which are partially built are open to motorists and pedestrians, and this poses great risk and danger to both.
Well, the fact is, it's actually dependent on the kind of road that you're constructing. You could even have a 6 months liability period, especially for a feeder road, for instance. And then for trunk roads and all of this, you're looking at 1 year. Sometimes you could even go beyond that 1 year. But this is because during that period, you're supposed to carry out or repair any defects that would come out whilst the project you claim has got this partial completion. So your part of your money, is what we call retention, is kept so that you can take care of all these defects when they crop up during the liability period. And after the liability period, if there's no problem, then a certificate of completion is then issued to you. Then you can also go and then claim whatever is left of your money. That's your retention money. Yes.
There's some comment and communication from viewers to you, sir. Akushika Jifa says, please inform your guests that the UDS WA Campus Road is not good at all, so government should intervene. And asking where Moon sang more as well. Moon is in UGS. I don't think she is in UDS. She's in University of Ghana, Lagos, or UGL. She is doing a course in international relations. Ali Tanko say the Kasua Highway needs speed ramps because vehicles have knocked down 3 people in 2 days at Amamfro. Speed ramps. Now, are these part of the design of roads in Ghana, or is it something that road contractors put in by themselves?
No. Point is that no contractor can go out of his way to do anything in a project when he's not been asked to do it, because at the end of the day, there's money involved. So whatever we're doing, whatever construction that we're doing, whatever at the site, is being done strictly on what we've been asked to do. So if the speed ramp is not part of it, then the contractor cannot do it. And again, you see, for instance, the Kaswa Strait there, it's a highway. And so you just don't introduce those speed ramps and all of this as and when you wish. There must be a very necessary need for it before those things can be introduced, because they are highways. And that, like I said earlier on, if you had enough money, we should have diverted all our highways so that they go behind or back of our towns and cities. So that in other jurisdictions, you find that even walls, very high walls, have been constructed in order not to disturb the people when cars are driving past their areas. But in ours, sometimes chiefs will even come begging that, please don't take the road from our town, let it go through the town. Because they think that most of their social and economic activities are centered around the highway being through the town. And unfortunately, we need to educate them on this, because politicians will always have problems under such circumstances. They could accuse you of taking the road away from their town, and so they will not vote for you. All sorts of things.
Interesting. I'm talking to Joseph Ebo Houghton from the Association of Road Contractors Ghana, the National Secretariat, looking at road safety from the point of view of road construction. We've touched on design, we've touched on work in progress, and we've touched on results. If you have any thoughts that you want to add to this dialogue, feel free to post them.